Peter, you have a really great take on this today. Among the things you write is this. When it came to Gaza, Mr. Trump's thinking on Tuesday was so far outside the box that it was not clear he even knew there was a box. Provocative, intriguing, outlandish, outrageous, and not at all presidential. As Kelly just said, do we know if this is real, if it's simply provocative, maybe another part of his strategy to flood the zone? So we're talking about this and not about Elon Musk or mass deportations or shutting down the Department of Education. What do you think?
Well, on the one hand, it seems hard to take serious because it seems so far-fetched, so outlandish, so brazen, and so antithetical to anything that any U.S. president would ever conceive of, certainly in the modern era. On the other hand, as Kelly noted, he was reading from notes. He's told her, this is not something he had raised lately. There's not like an actual plan. Nobody's done any actual work to document what this would require, what kind of, logistics might be involved or cost might be involved. But it's a little bit more than just him talking off the top of his head. And he may not mean it seriously in the sense that we will ever pursue this. It's hard to see how that would ever happen. Remember, he ran for office in 2016, decrying the idea of nation building in the Middle East. Now he's proposed perhaps the most expansive idea of nation building in the Middle East, certainly since the Iraq War 2 decades ago. It may be that he loves getting people riled up. It may be that he likes to throw stink bombs in the middle of the conversation because it doesn't seem possible that they could do this. And yet he did say he's taking it seriously, and he's got everybody else talking about it. And it is fair to say that Gaza is a demolition site. He used that phrase. More than half the buildings have been destroyed. It's hard to see how people can live there without some sort of massive reconstruction project. Nobody else come up with a better idea. But so far, obviously, this is a non-starter from the point of view of most people in the region, and certainly even most people in Washington.
Well, the other thing is, Peter, and you mentioned this as well, is that it seemed to be an idea that grew by the hour as the day went on. I mean, tell us more about that and what some people would consider the audacity to propose it without any details or seemingly any real idea of what would be involved.
Yeah, it did grow through the day. At the beginning of the day, his aides were telling reporters, he asked, look, it's going to take 15 years to rebuild Gaza, something a lot of people would agree with. And we have to figure out how to work with partners in the region to help people and the Palestinians living there to find some place to live during that. A lot of people might agree with that, at least on the face. By the time he met with reporters for an executive order signing, he's saying, there's no alternative for the Palestinians but to leave Gaza, which is a more provocative way of saying it. Within an hour or so, he's hosting Netanyahu, and he goes even further still, saying that, that he wants all Palestinians to leave and that they won't tell him no, which sounds kind of menacing, of course. And it was by the evening when Kelly O'Donnell is shown there at that press conference in the East Room that he finally goes even further by saying the United States would take ownership of Gaza, which, of course, really, I think, made heads spin all over the region.
So, Richard Engel, what's been the reaction to this overseas?
Well, the reaction in the Middle East has been shock. It has been horror. People have described it as ethnic cleansing. They've described it as profoundly destabilizing to the entire Middle East. Since this event happened, and we're working with a time difference here, so since this event happened last night in the U.S., I've been getting phone calls, texts pretty much through the night with people trying to figure out exactly the subject that you're trying to figure out. Is he really serious? It seems so detached from reality, and it would be so brutal to carry out. You have a situation where Gaza is more or less destroyed right now. Many of the homes, the buildings have been damaged, and the infrastructure has been torn up. So people are now in the midst of going back to northern Gaza in particular. A lot of Gazans, as you remember, were forced down into the south, which was less damaged, although quite significantly as well, and they're going back up to the north and seeing all of this rubble. So they're already going through this trauma right now of having been under attack, having been crammed down into southern Gaza. Now they're making the journey, often on foot, to the north, and then they suddenly hear from President Trump, oh, by the way, you're all going to have to leave again. You're all going to have to go to countries where you don't want to go, countries that don't want to have you, and the U.S. is going to be responsible for doing this. The U.S. is going to take possession somehow of that land and build some sort of Riviera. And Palestinians are quite convinced this Riviera does not apply to them, that they will be expelled, and that there could be, if this scenario ever played out, some sort of development projects, but that they would not be the beneficiaries here. So I'm hearing a lot of outrage and a lot of questions about how serious he is, because when you think about the practicalities, how would this work? It just seems so implausible, because President Trump would have to come up with some sort of plan. They would have to get Palestinians to agree to leave, and some probably would leave, no doubt. There's a lot of destruction there, and people given other alternatives, maybe they would go. But then what about the people, and there are many, and we spoke to some of them today, who say they don't want to leave, because leaving isn't just leaving their home, it's leaving the homeland. It's abandoning the idea that there will ever be a Palestinian state, because you can't have a Palestinian state without any people. So if the Palestinians from Gaza, roughly 2 million of them, were suddenly sent to Jordan or Egypt or or other countries in the region, that would be really the end of the Palestinian state. And the only people in the Middle East who are celebrating this today are the hardline Israeli settlers, who've all along thought this was a great opportunity, this post-October 7th moment, to reoccupy the Gaza and to restore Jewish settlements to the area. So it has sent people into something of a tailspin in the region as they're trying to figure out, is he really going to do this? Does he really want to? Is he really serious about this? And I guess we'll find out more in the days ahead if this was just some sort of thought balloon that he had clearly with the encouragement of some Israelis, or if this is really going to become policy.
So, Elise, let's assume the president is serious. Talk to me about what would be involved here on the U.S. side, logistically, financially, because Peter points this out in his article. This would be the biggest U.S. commitment of strength and money in the Middle East in 20 years, back to when you were in the Bush administration.
No, it would be another occupation, just like in Iraq. And is that what the American public, especially the Trump voters who do not want an interventionist foreign policy, is that what they voted for? I think that even Donald Trump's hold on his base is not that strong, where deploying American troops to occupy and seize Gaza, that might even be a bridge too far for those voters. It is just an idea that logistically and financially, morally, is completely stupid. And you have to admire that Donald Trump, for whatever reason he said this, let's hope that it's just a trial balloon to distract from Elon Musk absorbing all of his headlines. He is shameless, and he doesn't mind putting out such a preposterous, toxic idea when it is just completely not feasible in terms of our national debt and in terms of the American public and their tolerance for another war.
Well, Peter, let's talk about the politics of this, because it would seem to be, as just pointed out, the opposite of everything Trump has campaigned on or said he believed in for a long time, extricating the U.S. from the Middle East, saving money. And yet, while Democrats seem stunned, some Republicans seem to at least be trying to get on board. Take a listen.
This is an extraordinarily dangerous approach for the president to take, and not consistent with American values.
Is it different? And is he thinking outside the box? Absolutely. Does that mean that other people are going to start coming up with ideas about how we can find a peaceful solution? I hope so.
I'm not sure whether this was off the cuff or a strategy, but in either case, I think it actually sets back the cause of peace in that region.
We're trying to get the details of it, but I think this is a good development. We have to back Israel 100%, and so whatever form that takes, we're interested in having that discussion. But it was a surprising development, but I think it's one that we'll applaud.
I have to say that's something that we hear often, Peter, from Republicans. We'll have to get the details of it. But how do you see this playing out politically?
Well, I mean, look, there are some Republicans who are questioning it. Senator Rand Paul, who's always been an anti-interventionist, has tweeted out that the United States has no business contemplating another occupation in the Middle East. And actually, to Elise' point about, Iraq and my own mention of that in the story, I would add that there is even a difference there. Even with Iraq, the United States' goal was to help them build a democracy of their own, reconstruct it, and then get out, to leave the country to them. What Trump is talking about here, by the way, is owning it lock, stock, and barrel for the United States and not allowing the Palestinians to come back. They're not going in there to reconstruct it and rebuild it for the Palestinians to have a place to live. He says he wants to make it a mecca for anybody who wants to live there, not for the Palestinians. It's a big difference even there. But it is an extraordinary suggestion, one I don't think is going to play well with even Republicans who don't want to be part of nation building. There is an exhaustion factor after 20 years in the post 9/11, America intervention around the world. And remember, America First is supposed to be about spending money here at home. We don't want to give money to Ukraine, according to Trump and his allies, because we think that money is better spent here. Well, that's a lot of money he's now talking about spending. It will be tens of billions of dollars, presumably, maybe even much more, depending on how it's structured, in Gaza, where I think most Americans just as soon not, have a lot of interest.